Welcome to Stock Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with Business Riff, and I want startup businesses to be wildly successful. Today, we're going to be talking about heart-centered businesses with Kaluwa Ghalikar from Imperfectly Amazing. So thank you so much for coming, Kaluwa.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so thrilled.
This is very, very cool because there are startups that are heart-centered, and it's a little different when you're heart-centered from when you're just going to go do a tech app or a biochem app, right?
Yes, yes.
So I know we talked about this a little bit before. When I hear heart-centered, I kind of think not-for-profit. And what
Yes.
does that mean?
Yeah, and it's funny. That's actually why I've switched to calling people change makers, because that is what we tend to think, oh, heart-centered, how sweet. Oh, good for them. They're volunteering their time. You know, but the change makers are the ones who are making the world a better place through their purpose. And they get to be sustainable. Actually, they need to be sustainable in order to keep doing it, to keep making a difference, which is what they feel in their heart to do. So I'm so inspired to help these change makers, these heart-centered people be successful in doing what they're doing so that we all benefit.
Right. And they need to get paid for it. And they need to
Yes.
feel very comfortable asking for money and
Yes.
receiving money for these services because they have value, right?
Absolutely. I mean, truly, even when you think about any kind of heart, if you think about faith and religion, there is money exchange, So they've got to pay the bills for a location. There's always a money exchange. You are allowed and you deserve
Mhm.
to be compensated fairly for this service or product or whatever it is you're providing that makes people's lives better, makes the world a better place.
Okay, so let's talk about what do you find are some of the challenges that change makers face?
Well, one of the things that I think is probably the most out of the starting gate, the most in your face is the fact that there's no map, there's no road plan, there's no script for doing your business as a change maker, because usually you've got something new, something a little different. It's probably, even if you're doing something similar to someone else, you're probably doing it in a different way, right? That's how my change makers work, right? So there's not this one way of, okay, do XYZ and you will have a successful business. You've got to learn to get into alignment with yourself and trust yourself in order to be successful in your business, and in order to magnify your ideal or magnetize your ideal people towards you.
Yeah, your message has to be very clear. You have to have a really good sense of who your audience is
Yes.
and what their problem is. What is that problem that you are solving for them? And to be able to really articulate that clearly, that can be a challenge for some of our change makers, right?
Absolutely. And a lot of the change makers also, well, there's some fear. There's fear out there about how the world will perceive them because they're doing something different. And we're always scared to be a little different, right? We want to run with the masses, but as a change maker, you're just white noise if you do that. So the more authentic you are in your voice and saying the things that, speaking your truth, that is what is going to draw your people.
Mhm.
But we tend to want to, smooth the edges or just like say it in a way that's really professional, or right, we do what we've been told or follow these scripts or do these different things because that's what's going to work, and then it doesn't, and we're left wondering what happened. Did I do something wrong? Well, only in that you weren't enough of you.
Mm. And sometimes it has to do with being comfortable, not being nice all the time, because
Mm,
sometimes nice is counterproductive. And you have
absolutely.
to be able to set those boundaries, or you aren't going to get paid what you need to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love that. And yeah, just it's funny because that came up a couple times in the last couple days about being strong enough, that empowered person to maybe push people a little bit, to, give them that nudge they need.
When you're making changes, you are pushing against the norms. You are
Yes.
pushing into people's discomfort zone. But
Yes.
sometimes that's exactly where they need to go to get out of the bigger discomfort they've been stuck in for a while. And that's why
Yes.
you're here and you're going to change the world and make it better.
Yes. And it takes an incredible amount of internal work, right? Of worthiness work, of that being in alignment,
Right.
so that you are confident enough and worthy enough to go do that. If you are, pushing against the masses
Mhm.
and expecting them all to like what you have to say, you're going to be disappointed. You know?
Disappointed. So it's very important to have a good coach with you, to
Yes.
have good supportive people around you, not necessarily your relatives, but people who can support you, because you need that internal cushion when you hear no, because you're going to hear no a lot. Every startup does. Every startup hears no a lot, and you have to develop that tolerance for it, and that way of thinking that it's just business, it's not personal.
Absolutely. I've actually come to really love hearing no, because honestly, I would much rather hear a no than a thumbs up.
Yeah,
Or like,
or maybe
I'll think about it. Yeah,
later.
I'll get back to you. That's, yeah, all that wishy-washy time sucking. Just give me the yes or no. I'm here to help you make a decision.
Well, thank you very much, Kaluwa. This has been very enlightening, particularly for those startups that want to change the world in a warm, fuzzy way. And this
Thank
is
you so much, Mary.
this is Mary Scott with Business Drift. I want startup businesses to be wildly successful. So join us again for Stock Time to Improv.